Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about a gel medium process. This is called clear tar gel. Now, this is a Golden product, and Golden makes a lot of different gels. Some are heavy, some are lighter, some are opaque, some have beads in them, some have grit in them, some are iridescent. They're just all kinds of different gels. But right now I'm going to use a clear tar gel. This is a painting that I completed with the clear tar gel process. The gel basically was used to make the clouds. So I painted a dark background, and then I did the clouds using the gel, and I'll show you in a minute how I did that. I've done some other things too, some stippling, which is where you use either a toothbrush or a hairbrush and spatter the paint. And but what I want to talk about specifically is the gel. And I wanted to show you this canvas paper. Canvas paper is great for trying different processes. It's very inexpensive. This is $8 for 12 by 16 and 10 sheets. So it's less than $1 a sheet, and you can use it to try different things so that you don't have to use canvas or canvas board when you're trying different products. You can also, after you get finished trying something, go back and cover it with a layer of matte medium and use it again. Now, I would definitely keep some canvas paper or scrap canvas, if you've got it, on hand and practice different processes. Now this is the clear tar gel, and I'm going to open it up. It tends to stick. When you close it, make sure that you're careful about wiping down the outside and the inside rim, and or it'll stick closed. And if it does stick closed, though, you can get a screwdriver, flat screwdriver, and kind of go back up in the lip and break it apart. It's not like it ever sticks completely, but it's always a good idea to do that. Another thing you can do is take Vaseline, and when you first get it, and wipe it around the edges, and that can help too. So I'm going to take the gel. I'm going to take this palette knife. This is a Liquitex palette knife. They come as a set of 4. And they're really nice big palette knives. But I'm going to take one and just scoop the gel out. And I'm going to be very generous and put it down. I've already coated the surface of this canvas. I've put a layer of gesso on it, which I always recommend, although it's not imperative. Most canvases come with gesso already on them. I like using another layer just to make a little slicker, smoother surface. You can even put down a layer or 2 of gesso, sand it lightly, and then put down another layer of gesso, and to get a really smooth surface. I've coated it with dioxazine purple and some burnt sienna and a little bit of dark blue. It's not too hard to just put the gel down. Now, if you're mixing the gel with paint ahead of time, and we're not doing that right now, but you can see how it gives these nice kind of little stippling edges, which is another thing I do occasionally. But that's not really what I'm doing right now. So I'm just coating it generously. Now this takes a long time to dry, so make sure that you've got a place to put this and some time. This is not a fast process. It takes probably about 24 hours for this to fully dry. There are lots of things you can do with gels. This is one of my favorites. So I'm just going to coat this, and I'm just going to do half because I'm going to show you another process on the other half. So I'm going to take some paint, and I'm going to mix it with some medium. I'm using a glazing medium, which is already on the palette. I'm going to take some light colors, add a little more glazing medium. And I'm going to mix this, this is a Portrait Pink, is the name of it. I'm going to mix it with this Buff Titanium, or Buff Titan. And this is called Unbleached Parchment. I'm just going to mix them together. Both the Liquitex and Golden make these colors or something very similar. I'm going to put a lot of glazing medium in there because I want it to be very, very transparent. And the more glazing medium you add, the more transparent it's going to be. Then I'm just going to put this kind of on here. Just going to dab it on a little bit. Now, this is a palette knife. I would recommend getting a full set of palette knives, and I'd really recommend getting the metal ones as opposed to the plastic ones. The plastic ones are great if you want something that doesn't matter if you destroy it, but the metal ones are better for actually working. Then I'm just going to take this paint and just move it around into basically a cloud pattern. Once you start working, it's better to work away from the paint. And you don't need a lot of paint. Just a little bit goes a long way. So that's just the Portrait Pink, the Buff Titan, and a little unbleached titanium. And then you can also use some other colors, like maybe some nice light purple. Mixed with a little bit of light blue. Let me give you the names of these colors. Light Permanent Blue, Brilliant Purple, and Light Blue Violet is what the third one is. And these were all Liquitex. Golden makes similar ones, and so does Cheap Joe's. Makes a similar. Any of those are fine. So I'm going to add glazing medium because I want it really thin. You could also use pouring medium if that's what you have. Doesn't really matter. And then I'm just going to drop it in a little bit. Might be a little bit too dark. Add a little more blue. You could also use liquid paints to drop in. Experiment around, see what you like. Don't need a whole lot. Take your spoon and move the color. Now you won't really be able to see what you're doing. That's kind of the downside of this process. You'll be able to see tomorrow because the medium's so cloudy looking at first. Now it will dry clear. So what happens is when you get through, all you really end up seeing, and I'm going to put in just a little bit of white, all you really end up seeing when you get through is the color itself. You don't see the medium at all. So the color is sort of, as you can see, very nebulous looking because the medium has dried and the color is sitting on top of the canvas. I'm doing this for a little bit of contrast, especially because the contrast will really show up on that dark background. There again, like I said, it's better, a little bit better to move away from the paint. when you're moving your spoon. Doesn't matter that much. So that's one process with the gel medium.